बैठे हैं ऑडिटोरियम में, थोड़ा सा भी विस्परिंग करेंगे तो मेरे ख्याल में क्या बोलते हैं रेजोनेंस होके काफी तेज आवाज हो जाएगा, लेकिन आवाज ही नहीं निकल रहा। कुछ करेंगे आपके नाश्ते का भी बंदोबस्त करते हैं, लेकिन अभी करेंगे तो फिर डिले हो जाएगा, प्रोग्राम की बात करें, चलेगा ना? थैंक यू। ओके, आप जैसा कि जानते हैं वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग 75 ईयर्स देश की आजादी के, हम 75 साल मना रहे हैं और 75 साल 15 अगस्त को कंप्लीट होंगे, 76 साल लगेगा। इसी सिलसिले में हमने सोचा कि कुछ ऐसे प्रोग्राम किए जाए जिसमें थोड़ा सा आजादी के साथ भी कनेक्ट हो, देश के बारे में, देश में क्या हो रहा है, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या हो रहा है, इन सब के बारे में थोड़ा सा बच्चों के साथ में शेयर की जाए इन्फॉर्मेशन। तो एक बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम है, या हमारा एक रोबोस्ट प्रोग्राम कहते हैं न्यूक्लियर पावर। जानते हैं न्यूक्लियर पावर ना, आपकी ऊर्जा जिसको कहते हैं न्यूक्लियर पावर। वी हैव अ वेरी वन ऑफ द बेस्ट प्रोग्राम आई थिंक इन द वर्ल्ड, 3 स्टेज प्रोग्राम जो होमी बाबा साहब ने दे, तो एंड वी शुड ऑल बी प्राउड ऑफ। और आप जानते हैं कि आजकल बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स हो रहे हैं, ग्लोबल वार्मिंग हो रहा है, क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है, टेम्परेचर बढ़ रहा है, सुना है ना ये सब? तो उसका उपाय भी ढूंढना पड़ेगा। उपाय तो आप लोगों को ही ढूंढना है, क्योंकि अगर आप नोबेल प्राइज और जो रिसर्च, अच्छी रिसर्च, मतलब जिनको कह सकते हैं विनिंग रिसर्च, उनके अगर आप डेटा देखेंगे ना, तो बोलते हैं ज्यादातर लोग 35 साल की उम्र से कम में ही वो रिसर्च कर लेते हैं, बाद में तो केवल एप्लीकेशन करते हैं। यहाँ कहने का मतलब है, हम तो 35 साल के हो चुके, हमें तो और भी यहाँ बैठे होंगे, कुछ टीचर्स भी बैठे होंगे, प्रोफेसर बैठे होंगे, उनकी तो 35 साल से ऊपर उम्र होगी। पर जो 35 साल के होने के बाकी है, उनके पास मौका है कुछ न कुछ समस्याओं का समाधान हो। समस्या है तो समाधान भी हो, ये तो मानते हैं ना? हाँ। क्योंकि ऐसे है कि साइंस में ऐसा ही बोलते हैं, कुछ ऐसी ऐसे समाधान है जो अपनी समस्या ढूंढ रहे हैं। उनमें से एक है लेजर। लेजर जब 1960-61 में इन्वेंट किया गया था, तो उसके बारे में ऐसा कहा गया था कि हमने एक ऐसी चीज ढूंढी है जो समाधान तो है, लेकिन इसकी समस्या किसका, मतलब किसका समाधान है वो समस्या नहीं ढूंढी। अब हमें आके पता चला लेजर, अभी हम चांद पे डिस्टेंस नापने के लिए यूज करते हैं, वहां पे एक मिरर रखा है, उस पर लेजर भेजते वापस आ जाता है, टाइम डिस्टेंस कैलकुलेट करके हमें पता चलता है। कई बार देखा होगा आपने लेजर शो, होटल के ऊपर बड़े बड़े पब्लिक शो में चलता है, दूर दूर तक ये करते हैं। तो ऐसा ही करके हम लोगों ने न्यूक्लियर पावर कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड, कितने लोग जानते हैं इसके बारे में? न्यूक्लियर पावर कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड, एनपीसीआई, जो हमारे देश में न्यूक्लियर पावर, जहां बिजली जिससे बनता है, someone who is producing power but about only 3% of power till date। जबकि बहुत सारे ऐसे देश हैं, फ्रांस जैसे, जहाँ 70% तक जो है न्यूक्लियर पावर, 80% तक न्यूक्लियर पावर से जनरेट हो, बट वी आर ओनली 3% so far and we are increasing our people, they anticipate that more and more because we coal will exhaust, कोयला तो खत्म हो जाएगा, तेल भी खत्म हो जाएगा, है ना? तो क्या बचेगा? न्यूक्लियर फ्यूल है हमारे पास, एक बार लगा दिए 2-3 साल तक भर के चलता रहता। तो देयर आर सम गुड ऑप्शंस। इसके लिए हम लोग आपको उसी के बारे में बताएंगे, उनके साथ मिलकर उनके प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं। आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं न्यूक्लियर पावर कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, उनके साथ में मिलकर एक ज्वाइंट कैंपेन है। करीब 8 प्रोग्राम होंगे, कुछ में आपने पार्टिसिपेट किया भी होगा, नहीं है तो मेरे ख्याल राजेश आप बता सकते हैं। कुछ ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम्स हैं जिसमें बच्चे पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं, और 4 लेक्चर हम लोग ऑर्गेनाइज करेंगे। 2 हो चुके हैं, आज तीसरा है। और एक था एनवायरमेंट पे, दूसरा न्यूक्लियर पावर इनएविटेबल ऑप्शन, क्यों ये जरूरी है, क्यों हमें इसके लिए जाना चाहिए। एक है, आज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट दिन है, 6 अगस्त, 6 है ना? कुछ खास है यार, हिरोशिमा, नागासाकी, हाँ, वो भी न्यूक्लियर से रिलेटेड है। तो ज्यादातर लोगों को जब न्यूक्लियर पावर की बात करते हैं तो पहले वो हिरोशिमा, नागा, तो मतलब ऐसा लगता है भाई ये तो बड़ी बेकार की चीज है, पर ऐसा नहीं। जिन्होंने बनाया ये सोच के नहीं बनाया था। अगर आप कोई चीज, आपको अच्छी चीज दी जाए और आप उसका दुरुपयोग करें, तो इसमें बनाने वाले का दोष नहीं, इसमें हमारी मानसिकता का दोष है ना? तो न्यूक्लियर पावर कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया, न्यूक्लियर पावर, तो आज उसके समझ कर ये भी लगे कि कोइंसिडेंस है कि आज ये 6 तारीख का लेक्चर है। न्यूक्लियर पावर को रिलेटेड है और इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक ये दिया है, पब्लिक कंसर्न्स अबाउट न्यूक्लियर पावर, परसेप्शन वर्सेस रियलिटी। हमारे जो दिमाग में है कि न्यूक्लियर पावर में कुछ गड़बड़ है, ये ऐसा करता है वैसा करता है, ये जो परसेप्शन बन गया है या कई लोगों के मन में अभी जो मानते हैं, उनके फैक्ट्स आपके सामने रखने के लिए हमारे साथ मौजूद है श्री स्वप्नेश कुमार मल्होत्रा जी। सबसे पहले मैं नूरवी आमरे जी, प्लीज महर्षि दयानंद महाविद्यालय, मैं उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि मल्होत्रा साहब का स्वागत करें और हम स्वागत करते हैं वोटिंग प्लान देके।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। अरे नहीं नहीं, हमारे यहाँ लड़कियां पैर में
एनवायरमेंट को प्रोपगेट करने के लिए आपने को तरजीह मैसेज देने के लिए कि एनवायरमेंट का हमें 50% अपना वातावरण हमें मिलता रहे, हवा मिलती रहे, उसमें न्यूक्लियर पावर का भी एक अहम योगदान। आज आप इसी के बारे में जानेंगे। आपके जो प्रश्न रहेंगे वो आप लिख के रखें, एंड में थोड़ा समय हम निकालेंगे।
मैं शुरुआती प्रश्नों से करूंगा,
ठीक है,
मैं उल्टा चलूंगा।
मैं मल्होत्रा साहब के बारे में थोड़ा सा आपको बता देता हूँ। स्वप्नेश कुमार मल्होत्रा, S.K. Malhotra stands for Swapnesh Kumar Malhotra, is currently the Secretary of Indian Nuclear Society, which is shortly written as INS. A voluntary international body of nuclear scientists, engineers and technologists in India. He is also on the editorial board of INS newsletter, a quarterly publication of INS. Mr. Malhotra is in the managing committee of National Association for Applications of Radioisotopes and Radiation in Industry. It's shortly written as NAARRI, NARI. Another voluntary organization of professionals working in the field of radioisotopes and radiation technology. He is the founder editor of NARI newsletter, a quarterly publication which was launched by this year only. Earlier, he superannuated from Department of Atomic Energy, shortly written as DAE, Government of India, as outstanding scientist in 2015 after serving 4 decades, 40 years. He was immediately awarded Raja Ramanna Fellowship and was appointed as Secretary, Atomic Energy Education Society, and organization which runs all the schools related with this AES. He laid down this office on completion of his term in April 2019. After post-graduation in chemistry from Agra University in 1976, I joined DRC. After 1 year training in nuclear science and technology for more than 2 decades, he was engaged in R&D on heavy water. Heavy water is one very important material so far as nuclear power plants are concerned. So an important nuclear material for Indian nuclear power program. His major fields of interest were hydrogen isotopes separation, catalyst frictional distillation, cryogenic distillation, mass spectrometry, gas chromatography, analytical techniques for characterization of heavy waters. Since 1999, as head public awareness division of Department of Atomic Energy, where we came into contact, I think, because I came to Mumbai in 1999 only.
Okay.
So from then, he is a friend of Science Center, a friend of all of us, and given earlier also many lectures. In fact, he has already delivered more than 500 lectures so far. It was a great experience, great. Though he says that he is not a communicator, but I personally feel that yes, he is a communicator. Given in this module, also he has given many lectures. And he has authored a chapter in a book called India Culture of Science, published on the occasion of 101st Indian Science Congress in 2014. And another chapter in the book, Bridging the Communication Gap in Science and Technology, Lessons from India, published by Springer in 2017. Mr. Malohotra has been bestowed upon with a number of awards for his contribution in science communication. He is a fellow of Indian Science Writers Association and Mahakoshal Vigyan Parishad. He is the immediate past president of Indian Society of Analytical Scientists. With this, we can request now Shri Malohotra to start his lecture. Yeah, I think we are going live also. Those who are joining on Facebook or on Zoom, we also extend a warm welcome to all of them. Okay. We have some questions also. They can share the questions. So, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you. A very good morning to all of you. You should be louder than me. I have to take help of the mic. You should be loud without mic. Okay? You should be bubbling with energy. See, I am an old man. He talked about 35. I have completed 35 years 2 times. Okay? So please remember that. So anyway, as you are told, we will talk about nuclear power. And I have written public concerns. Now, as far as here it is concerned, for me, you are the public. Okay. So first question I am asking is, all of you, whether I should mostly speak in English or in Hindi. Choice is yours. English. Okay, very good. So now, what are the public concerns? Let us find out. So I think in a very organized manner, you can tell me if you have any question regarding nuclear power, you have any doubt. Please, don't waste time. Immediately tell me. So my lecture will depend on your questions. If there are no questions, I will not speak. See, because I have come here to answer only questions, okay? Yeah, please, tell me. Yeah, but you have any question in mind, whether nuclear power should be there or should not be there? If it should be there, why? If it should not be there, why? This type of doubt anybody is having. Please feel free. Yeah, please.
Hello. Firstly, sir, on behalf of everyone, I really thank you for giving your precious time and coming here. Sir, talking about nuclear power, it has been already been a conception in my mind. Like the word nuclear for me, I related with the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, as you said, the two bombs which were been planted, and already we have known that what effect it had in Japan. So, sir, by that time when I was a child, I used to think that why, like, we need to actually make some such weapons that can cause such a great chaos in a particular country. So I am really curious, sir, to know about what are the positive ends of this. But I really feel like you should tell us about why such, what is your conception about having nuclear weapons? Like, I feel that nuclear power is something which is very essential for us.
Yeah, good, very good. Yeah. Some more. Come on. Yes, yes.
What are the perils if Third World War starts and nuclear weapons are used? It's our future.
Yeah.
How will we handle it?
Yeah, surely. Good. Some more.
Hello, sir. I mean, nuclear energy, we all know. I mean, right now you'll deliver a lecture and people will know more about nuclear energy. Now we get a lot of electricity from the natural resources, wind, hair, there is water. I mean, nuclear energy is such a evolving industry right now. So why can't why can't India get some more electricity from nuclear energy itself? Why don't we have such more, boards? Like, MSEB has so and so solar hai, wind hai. So why can't nuclear energy can source much more of electricity from this thing?
So, yes, very good. Anybody? Nobody is asking about safety, possibility of accidents. Yeah.
Where would you store the actual byproducts of the reaction?
Where will you
store the byproducts of the reaction?
Okay. Yeah. Nobody is speaking about.
I wanted to ask people, like, the countries are investing so much in nuclear energy. Does they have any negative effect on environment?
Yeah. Good. Very good.
Excuse me, sir.
Is there any advantage of using nuclear energy?
Okay, good. Anybody? I'm particularly giving you I'm trying to prompt you people. Nobody has so far spoken about safety of nuclear power stations. People normally they say so many accidents have happened. See now I think this age group maybe 14, 15 years. How many are above 15? Okay, almost 50 to 60%. Okay, so see all you who are older than 15 years and how many are less than 20? So I think majority is between 15 and 20 years. So good. Why I ask this question? So all of you must have heard at least about Fukushima. Huh? All those people who are older than 15 years, because it is about 11 years back that Fukushima happened. Okay. On 11 March 2011, that incidents happened. Okay. So it is more than 11 years that it happened. And after that, people, you know, at least the people of your age group or even older than you, or all the people who are within 35 years presently, they are very afraid of nuclear power because they say their parents or their elders have told them that earlier also some accidents have happened. Anybody knows about accidents which happened in nuclear industry before Fukushima? You have heard the name? Yes? Yes, please tell.
The Chernobyl disaster in Soviet Union.
Yeah, Chernobyl. Yeah, very good. Very good. Fantastic. Do you know when it happened?
Chernobyl. Chernobyl happened somewhere in near UK, like on an island, I suppose.
No. When it happened, I asked.
Oh, that was somewhere in 1960 something.
Okay. And another accident? Somebody knows?
It was in Japan, right?
Fukushima was in Japan. So that happened in 2011. I already told. Now that child told Chernobyl. Now let me tell. It happened in 1986. Okay. And it was in that time USSR, which has now broken into many countries. So it was in USSR, Chernobyl. So that happened in 1986. But one more happened before that. If anybody knows, maybe some of your parents might have been born before that. So I will tell, it happened in 1979. Okay, I'm sorry. I told before you told. Yeah, tell me the name of the place if you know.
I think it would be the Bishkov disaster.
Which one?
The Bishkov?
No. That is not a nuclear disaster. This is 3 Miles Island in USA. So the place is known as 3 Miles Island. So in 1979, a disaster happened there. Now these are the only 3 recorded. I mean, other than that, some abnormal incidences might have been there. So these 3 accidents happened. So in fact, I am surprised when I ask the audience about the questions. First, they raise this question only that already so many accidents, nobody knows the number, but they will say so many accidents have happened. And so what if it happens in India? Okay. So I'm going to answer that question also. So I am adding that question. So I think now it is time for me to start my lecture. So first, what is not included in the lecture? There is only one question. Yeah.
Sir, good morning. I'm
Yeah.
from MD Maharshi Dayanand College. I want to ask if nuclear energy is this much harmful, then what are how to take care of it properly?
No, this much harmful, I did not understand. How much harmful? You used a sentence, if it is this much harmful.
Yes, sir.
So I want to know how much harmful.
Sir, very much harmful.
Based on some fact you are telling?
So like the effect that nuclear accidents.
Nuclear accidents. So that means nuclear, see, I told you 3 accidents have happened.
Yes.
So do you feel in coal-based plants, the accidents have been less than 3?
No.
More than 3?
3.
No. In coal-based plants where we burn coal and produce electricity. This we have been doing for last 200, 300 years.
Yes, sir.
So there the number of accidents is more than 3 or less than 3?
More than 3.
Much more than 3.
Yes, sir.
Orders of magnitude higher. Now, do you think the number of people would have died more in nuclear accident or in coal-based accidents?
More in nuclear.
Okay. So I will be answering this question. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It will
Thank
come in my lecture. So the only aspect which I have not covered because it slipped my mind that I'll be speaking on 6th August. So as you know, today is Hiroshima Day. So this in 1945, on 6th August, the bomb was dropped, a nuclear bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. So naturally, I mean, it is very, very natural that when you talk of nuclear power, the first thing that comes to the mind of the people is Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that it is such a dangerous technology. Okay. Now, all of you, so this I will answer. But let me ask some very, very basic question. In history, you are taught different ages of civilization. Name some. No, don't name civilizations. Age. Stone Age, very good. Then, I think, lot of Copper Age. So, Metal Age, Iron Age, Copper Age. So, you can mix them up as, now what is the age running? Modern age, but what you can call it. Actually, so many ages are running together. Space age, very important. IT age, electronics age, okay? So I think, and then robotics age, so many are running parallel to each other.
The nuclear age?
Nuclear age is also running because we are into nuclear age. So yes, that is part of the modern ages. Okay, now why I ask this question? Why Stone Age is known as Stone Age? Somebody has to tell. I am not a history expert. You people have studied history more recently than me. Why Stone Age is known as Stone Age?
Because the earlier people used to make all sorts of things using stone. The pots, the cauldron used to be made of stone. The wheel was invented. It was first made of stone.
Okay, very good.
The houses also were probably like little parts of stone.
Anything more?
The weapons were also made of stone.
Weapons. So I was coming to that only. So if you see the growth of Stone Age, what were by looking at the stone, the early men, see before that early men did not know anything, how they used to fight, the earliest people, how they used to fight. You must have seen dogs fighting. Do they use any weapon? You must have seen monkeys fighting. Okay. You must have seen the lions fighting amongst themselves, at least in videos you must have seen. How do they fight? Do they use any weapon? How do they fight? Huh? Have you seen dog using stone for fighting? I am asking, how do the dogs, monkeys and lions fight with each other?
By themselves without using any weapons?
Without any weapons. Okay, so by wrestling kind of thing. You know, they wrestle or they box or something. Using their body parts, they harm each other. This is what the early man, the primitive man was also doing. So whenever there used to be a fight amongst two groups, they can fight only bilaterally, 1:1, because two people will do wrestling with each other and the result will be declared by the death of one of them. Okay, so one will die and other will also be almost half dead. Who has killed, he also will be almost half dead, and it will take many hours for killing that one man. Okay. When one man was wrestling with another man, it will take many hours for killing one of them. Okay. When the early man saw stones, and by mistake he saw that if somebody's head is stuck with a stone, he dies immediately. So then what was the first use made of stone? As a weapon. So as soon as early men saw that stone can kill instantaneously, there is no use of wrestling. So they started picking up stones, okay, and they started killing each other with stones. Some people are continuing even today. You must have seen in television. Okay, but otherwise this was, thousands of years back that the early men used to do this. Okay, so the first application of stone in the Stone Age was using stone as a weapon. Then they learned that if they pile stones one above the other, they can create a wall. Okay, and that wall protects them. Then somebody got an idea that if you have made one wall like this, make another wall like this, then make another wall like this, and then another wall like this. So you get 4 walls. And if you put some tea branches and straw, etc., which was naturally available, if you put that on the top, then it becomes a roof. So you get protection from wild animals, from rough weather. So this was another thing early man learned, that stone, not only it can be used as a very strong weapon, but it can also be used for making houses. So first time they learned to make houses using stones. Later on, of course, this technology improved. Even today we are using stones. Brick is a variation of stone. It's a man-made stone. A brick is a man-made stone. So even today we are using it for that purpose, but the technology has improved. Initially they started using soil mixed with water, so mud kind of thing for joining the stones. Later on they discovered some more chemicals, and ultimately cement came into picture. So this technology has evolved and is being used even today. Okay, then somebody got an idea, beautiful artifacts can be made out of stone. So if you take a chisel and a hammer, you can make beautiful, yes, artifacts, structures, statues. Okay, they can be made. They are being made even today. So why I told this incident, and same is the story with the metal age also. Again, in the metal age, the first items to be made through iron were what? The swords. They learned to make swords, knives. And first they did not use the knife for cutting vegetables. They used the knife for cutting each other's throat, okay, neck, attacking each other. Later on, they found that this same knife can be used for peaceful purposes also, for cutting vegetables. And then, of course, by that time, fire had also been discovered, because fire was another use of a stone, because they discovered that if you hit one stone with another stone, then something comes up, and if you have dry grass there, that catches fire. So fire was invented. So he learned to cook his food, the early man. So all this growth happened. This is the story of civilization. Nowadays, you must have heard that through the mountain they are making road. The mountain remains, but they make a tunnel. Okay, how it is done? What is used for creating that tunnel inside the mountain? Some bombs are used. Okay, RDX is used. Some explosives are used. Okay, so nowadays explosives are being used both in road making and in mining. In the mining also, when they want to extract some ore and it is locked in the rocks, so they will explode it with some small bombs, designed bombs, so that those rocks will break into pieces. those they will take out and take out the valuable material from there. It could be copper, it could be iron, it could be other precious metals, it could be uranium for nuclear power. So all this they have learned, peaceful uses of various technologies. But every time you will see, now when this TNT, trinitrotoluene, the earliest explosive, when it was discovered, does anybody know who discovered TNT? Yes? Alfred Nobel, very good. So what did he use it for? Yes? For negative purposes?
No, for beneficial purposes.
No, I think here you slipped a little.
No, but his intention behind creating that was not as a negative sort of this.
Let me tell you, Alfred Nobel invented TNT, and then it was seen that if you create an explosion with this, lot of destruction can be done. So he immediately let it be known to various civilizations, and people started buying from him that how to make TNT. And companies were floated for making TNT, and people bought a lot of TNT, and it was all for fighting wars with each other. Because in the shortest time, everybody wanted to own a lot of TNT. So lot of TNT manufacturing plants were established, and every time a plant is established, the royalty will go to Alfred Nobel. And that is how he created lot of wealth. And then he was a witness to that, how people are using that TNT, the technology which he sold, the know-how that he sold to people, how it is being used for killing each other. So towards the end of his life, when he was very old, he realized that he committed a mistake by giving this technology to the human beings. So whatever wealth he had created by selling TNT or its technology, he donated everything. And nowadays, what for that wealth is used? So yes, I think somebody already said it. So it is used for giving Nobel Prize. So initially it was given for peaceful purposes only. I mean, so there was only one Nobel Prize, that is Nobel Peace Prize. Somebody who is trying to create peace in the world will be given Nobel Prize. Later on, anybody who is doing any R&D or any creative work for peaceful purposes, he could be writing literature, he could be doing physics, he could be doing chemistry, he could be doing some engineering, he could be doing some medical science. So all these people who are doing something creative for peaceful growth of human beings, they will be given Nobel Prize. And that Nobel Prize comes out of the interest which is drawn from that whatever money he had deposited. So why I told this, all these things right from Stone Age to this thing, though I'm losing my precious time, but somebody asked a very important question. So I think not only nuclear technology, right from the time of Stone Age, whenever the human being sees something new, he gets an idea how he can use this to harm other human beings. That is the first thing comes in the mind of the human being. So don't feel guilty that only today you are feeling so. No. Thousands of years back, when primitive man also had a look at the stone, first thought came to his mind that if he picks up one stone and hits his enemy, the enemy will be instantly killed. Now that enemy could be another human being, or it could be a lion who was coming to attack him. So stone was used as a weapon against living beings, other living beings. Okay. So what I am trying to establish is, first time when you see a material or you see a technology, what comes to your mind is that how it can be used for destroying others, for killing others or creating harm to others. Okay, this has been the tradition. It happened with the stone, it happened with metals, it happened with the explosives. Okay, it happened with lasers. Lasers already, see, Umesh sir, he spoke about lasers. When lasers were invented, the first use of lasers was made. It is only in, I think, at least when I started my career, I had not seen any laser printer, laser pointer. I had not seen laser being used for any peaceful purpose, but I had heard that lasers can be used to kill people. Lasers are used for destroying missiles and all. Those technologies were being developed. So what I want to establish is that anything new we discover, we first try to find out whether it can be used for harming others. So here the fault is not of nuclear energy or of laser or of stone or of metal. The fault lies here in our mind. In our mind, that feeling is bad actually, that how I can harm others with this. So same thing happened with nuclear power. And another very important thing I want to tell, that okay, on Hiroshima, the bomb was dropped on 6th August 1945. So please tell me, how many nuclear power stations do you think were working at that time? Can anybody tell? First chance to children, to students.
Absolutely none.
Absolutely none. Do others agree with that? Say a big yes if you agree, or say a big no if you don't agree. Be responsive. Okay, so the child is right. That boy told very correctly. In 1945, there were no nuclear power stations anywhere in the world operating. In fact, mankind had not made a nuclear, the thought had not occurred to him that it can be used for generating electricity. Again, when in 1939 nuclear fission was discovered by Fermi, then in 1942, the Chicago piles, the first ever nuclear reactor. In fact, it was not a reactor, it was just a pile in a sporting auditorium, not auditorium, open ground. It was created and it was run, and it was for the first time demonstrated that a lot of energy is generated. No electricity was generated, but they saw a lot of energy gets generated if you do fission in this manner. And after that, again, the first thought which came into anybody's mind was that, oh my God, we can make mother of all bombs, mother of all weapons using this. So immediately, one scientist by the name Oppenheimer, he was given, at least in USA, he was given the charge of the project that immediately, now World War was already on. So they said, develop a nuclear bomb and we want to, within 2-3 years, we want to use it. And ultimately it was developed and it was tested. And then finally it was dropped on Hiroshima and then after 3 days on Nagasaki. Okay. Much after that, now the devastation which happened in Japan, even the president of US, he started feeling guilty. Who was the president? Anybody knows? Anyway, I will tell to save time. It was President Eisenhower of USA, that he told, by that time, some people, some scientists told him that the only use of nuclear power is not destruction, not bombs. We can use it for making electricity also, and we can have many other peaceful applications. By that time, people had found out what could be the peaceful applications. And that is how in 1953, even before my birth, okay, President Eisenhower declared a term called Atom for Peace. That program. So you go back and Google Atom for Peace. You will immediately get a lot of literature. It makes very interesting reading. Okay, better than a comic. You will read that how Atom for Peace was proposed, and the result of that program, Atom for Peace, was International Atomic Energy Agency, which was established in 1957. Okay. So in 1957, the International Atomic Energy Agency was established with headquarters at Vienna, the capital of Austria. So there it was created. It is operating even today. It is part of UN, United Nations. It's an organ of United Nations. Okay, so why I told this, so far I have answered only one question, that correlating nuclear power with, so actually whoever had asked that question, I have forgotten. But what I am trying to tell you is that in a way, nuclear power is helping not to use nuclear power for destruction, because it is using the fissile material for generating electricity. In that process, it is consuming that fissile material. So now you are only ensuring that that fissile material cannot be used for making bomb, but you are rather using it for making electricity. In the same way as explosives, most of the explosives in the world today are used for peaceful purposes, or they are with the army. Now, army is a organized, see, in army, it is an organized thing. They defend their country, and only in case of war, they will use it against each other. But terrorists are the people where no war has been declared, but they can use it just to disturb the peace of a country or peace of a locality, okay, or just for the fun of it, they will use. So some part of the explosives are used by these negative elements, but does it mean that we should stop manufacturing of TNT and other explosives? No, because all the developmental work will come to a halt. So I think apply the same statement to nuclear power, that just because Hiroshima and Nagasaki happened, and incidentally only these two happened. After that, only people keep on telling, even with a empty holster, they will tell, I have got a pistol, I will kill you. But they never take out their pistol. After Hiroshima and Nagasaki, in fact, no nuclear bomb has been dropped on any country, on humanity ever. And I personally think that now it will be very difficult. I think somebody asked a question that if Third World War happens, so is there a chance of nuclear warfare? Yes, there are plenty of nuclear warfare with so many countries, including India, including Pakistan, including China. So many countries are having nuclear warfare, so that danger is always there. But again, those nuclear warfares will not have to be blamed. Again, the blame will lie here. The person who uses, India has already declared in 1999, after we developed our nuclear weapon, the then Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he had declared that no first use. Okay? No, what does no first use mean? That means I am having a pistol, but I will not make first use of this pistol. I will immediately, if I see a pistol in another fellow's hand, I will also take out my pistol. And if he fires, while saving myself, I will also fire at him. So this is called no first use. Okay. So it will be used only for defending your country. So that statement India has given, and it is bound by that. Okay. So I think if similar statements are given by different countries, now already a very serious war is going on between Russia and Ukraine. Another one is about to start, they say, anytime it will start, between China and Taiwan, and US will directly jump into it. This is what the experts are telling. So yes, there is a possibility of, I think we are already on the brink of Third World War. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope wisdom prevails. And really, let us all pray that it doesn't happen. But if it happens, there is a threat of nuclear war, nuclear weapons being used. But I think anybody, any country, including India, including US, including Russia, they will have to think twice, thrice, or maybe 10 times before making first use of nuclear power, because they are going to be blamed for the subsequent attacks also. Okay, so that's the answer to that question, that yes, if it happens, it is going to be very killing. Yes.
How will we cope up with the nuclear war then in the future? Because there will be a lot of destruction. How will we cope up?
See, there are procedures in line. Of course, I will not be speaking about them today. That if a nuclear calamity happens, see, if it happens on, see, for example, I mean, touch wood, but if somebody drops a nuclear bomb on Bombay, you don't have to do anything. Okay, you will not get chance to do anything. So don't worry about it. Only pray that it does not happen. Because if a bomb is dropped on Mumbai, you and me and everybody sitting here, we don't have to do anything. Okay, the bomb will do whatever is to be done. Okay, so that is my answer. I am not trying to scare, but let us say, sit down. Let us say if a bomb is dropped on Nagpur, okay, Nagpur will be destroyed. So Nagpur people will not have to do anything. But the radioactivity will spread from there and will come to Mumbai, will go to Delhi also, will go to some other countries also. There, yes, there are certain procedures that if radioactivity is spreading, what all we can do, how we can save ourselves, where we should hide. So naturally, we will have to hide within our houses, all windows, all doors closed. Nobody should come to the road. You will not drink any fresh water, exposed water. You would use only well water. That well also should be covered. There are so many things. I think I'm not going to deliver a lecture on that. But only the survivors have to think that how they can save their lives. But where the bomb is dropped, as I told you, nobody has to do anything. Okay. Now, I think kindly allow me to proceed with the lecture. I think I'll have to rush through because I really used half an hour. So here I have only told you that it is about 125 years that nuclear power, that means the radioactivity and X-rays were discovered. And today nuclear power is being used for many peaceful applications in all around the world. Even the people who do not have bombs, even the people who do not use nuclear power for producing electricity, even they are benefited by nuclear medicine and by so many other applications. Australia is a big example, very advanced country, does not have even a single nuclear power station. They are against using nuclear power. Reason being, they have plenty of coal. They are full of coal. Okay, so they produce 90% of their electricity using coal. Okay, so they really said we don't need nuclear power. So, but they have nuclear research reactor for producing isotopes. In fact, they were one of the major suppliers of radioisotopes in the entire world. Okay, so there are so many peaceful applications of nuclear power, which last 125 years we have been enjoying, but naturally, I mean, this is a pictorial display. This is a poster of Department of Atomic Energy where I used to work. So it is only trying to tell you that what are the different areas in which nuclear power can be useful. So for example, in healthcare, in water resources, in nuclear power, that means electricity generation, for research and education, for national security. We were just talking about national security, and then for food and agriculture. Okay, so today my topic is not to tell all about it. It will take for me about 2 hours, minimum 2 hours if I was to describe all of this. Maybe some other time I can do it. Then question is that though it is so useful, but still the people have doubts in their mind about nuclear power. They say that it is a very bad technology, very dangerous technology. They want to close all the nuclear power plants. So there are people. So today I am going to discuss only about this, that what are the questions in the minds of the people and what are the real answers. Okay, so what are those questions? I think some of these questions already you people asked. About nuclear weapon, I had not listed. So first is, I think already this question was asked, first one, why nuclear power at all? Renewables can do the job. I think somebody had asked this question. Okay, that we are having so many ways of producing electricity, then why use this dangerous technology? Okay. Then second is, this I prompted you people to ask this question. You were not asking. I said, why nobody is asking a question on safety of nuclear power station? And after all, so many accidents have already happened. I already told you, in case of nuclear power, how many make so many? 3. 3 make so many. In case of coal, so many have not made even small so many. Thousands of accidents have happened, but nobody says coal is dangerous. With the 3 accidents, I am going to show you a table. I think after this only. So anyway, then third is, what about the radiation and the radioactivity continuously leaking out of the nuclear power plants? See, when I tell people that nuclear power station is very safe, it will never explode. So don't worry, no accident will take place. It is a very safe method of generating electricity. There are some people who come with a homework. So they tell, okay, accident will not happen. But after all, it is a storehouse of so great, large amount of radioactivity. So what about the radioactivity leaking out of that power station? That will cause cancer in the nearby localities. This is a fear in the minds of the people. So people talk about it. Why do they talk about it? Because they have only seen things leaking. It starts with their house. I think you can go and check up. This is a challenge, and I am including my house into that. I know about my house, but I have never visited house of any of you, including the director, Umesh ji, sitting here. I challenge him also. I challenge each one of you. I challenge your teachers. Go and check in your house. How many water taps are there? In a typical flat, modern day flat, there will be minimum 6 water taps. Okay? Around 6 water taps will be there in a house. I am challenging. Go and find out, at least one of them must be leaking. Okay? Each one's house, including my house, I know where it is leaking. I have got around 14 water taps in my house. Okay? I have, thanks to Department of Atomic Energy, I could make a relatively bigger house. It's an independent house, 3-storied house. So every story has about maybe 4 to 5 water taps. So that's how I'm telling that I have around 14 water taps. I think at least 4 of them are leaking as on date. So what I am telling, you see the vehicles. You see the smoke is leaking out. You see petrol is leaking out. You park a car somewhere, when you remove, you see some oil stains there. So you see that when you put some oil in the car, oil leaks out. So it goes and settles in your mind that whenever you store something, it is bound to leak. Okay? This is there in our mind, because this is what we see in our house. This is what we see on the road. But do you know, a water tap, which I am telling it is usually leaking, what is the cost of a water tap? I am sure the students will not know. Some of the teachers can reply this. If you have bought one water tap for your house, 300, 400 rupees. Yeah, you are right. Even in 100 rupees, you can get, I think even in 60 rupees, because for my garden, I bought a MS mild steel water tap, which will get corroded with time. It came for 60 rupees. Okay. So right from 60 rupees, and then there are some, the imported water taps, Jaguar and so many other companies, which will be few thousand rupees also. Okay. So why I am telling this cost? We are using it for domestic purpose. What is the chemical inside these water taps? It is water. It is not harmful. If it leaks out, only some water is getting wasted, but no harm is getting done. There can be an indirect harm that if I have used Italian marble in my bathroom and water is leaking out, the bathroom will always be wet. And especially old people like me, in a careless manner, if they go into the bathroom, many times this accident takes place, that they slip. And I mean, the old people are very fragile. Okay, young people are, I mean, they don't have that much problem. Generally, they will not end up having bone cracks or fractures. But old people, if I fall down even here, I will have 2-3 cracks, because our bones have become very fragile with the years. You know, my bones are about 70 years old. Okay, so they have become very fragile. So why I am telling this? So that is why we use cheap valves. If I tell you there are valves available in the industry, not in the market, your hardware shop will not have those valves. But in the industry, there is a valve available for 10 lakh rupees. I use that valve in the nuclear reactor. I don't use that 60 rupees or 300 rupees or 3000 rupees valve in my house, in my nuclear power plant. I use a valve which will cost as good as 10 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees. In fact, the range starts from there only. What is the difference? The difference is it will not leak out. Okay? So we use those valves. So that is why, just because the water tap in your house is leaking, don't imagine that all the radioactivity from a nuclear power station is coming out. We take enough care. I'll be talking about that. Then, why are you going crazy with nuclear power? You must have heard. See, why I have written this. Many people ask me, or people like me who talk about nuclear power, they say, we have heard Germany is, in fact, this is the year. Germany is closing down all its nuclear power plants. They had promised in 2011 that they will close down by 2022. Some power stations they have already closed down. So in India, we have a habit. In India, yoga was known for thousands of years. Okay? But we were not practicing. Some people were practicing, but it was not a craze as it is today. There was a need for some foreigners to tell that yoga is very good. Once foreigners told us that yoga is very good, we said, oh, yoga has been available to us. So immediately yoga has become popular. So same way, we think that people from the advanced countries, particularly the fair-skinned people, you know, India has a complex in general. When I was getting married, I also told my parents, you can see my skin color. But I think one thing I had told my parents, look for a fair girl. Okay, education वगैरह बाद में पूछना, but first ensure that she is fair. She is not dark like me. I mean, I am dark, so I can crack this joke. Huh? It is a joke on myself. Okay. We have a complex. You know, so much so that fair we have included as a positive word. Huh? Have a fair deal. There is has that fair deal got to do anything with the color? We say fair is a good word. Why? Because we feel fair is good. And we say don't be unfair to somebody, because we feel what is not fair is not good. So this is there in our mind. So we have that weakness for fair, for fairness. Okay, that is why if some fair person tells us that this is good, then we believe it. Otherwise we say no. So now Germany is a fair, or full of fair people. So if Germany is telling we are going to close down all nuclear power stations, all the unfair people also should close down, because a fair person is telling. Okay? So why should we do that? God might have given us a darker skin, but it has given us beautiful brains. Indian brains are highly capable brains. So we should think by ourselves what is the need of our country. We should see in what environment we are sitting. And we should decide for our country, not because Germany is doing this or US is doing this, so we should also do. Okay. Then next one is, what about long-lived, highly radioactive and hazardous nuclear waste? I think one person had asked this question, byproducts. They are not byproducts, they are the waste generated from a nuclear power station. So yes, anything that you use in a factory, you will use some raw materials and naturally there will be some waste or byproducts coming out of it. Okay. So yes, I'll be talking about that. Because people say, and it is a fact that it is very hazardous. The waste coming out of a nuclear power station is very, very hazardous. While when you burn coal, what comes out is carbon dioxide. And people used to think that it is harmless because carbon dioxide is the gas because of which we are all alive. Do you know in photosynthesis, what is the raw material? Carbon dioxide. I think you all must have studied. All our food which we eat, particularly the starch and the sugar, they are made up of carboxylic group. I think when you grow, you go to higher standards, you will learn carboxylic group. It is COOH. That is what is known as carboxylic group. And it is made in the photosynthesis. The carbon dioxide gets converted into carboxylic group. So an inorganic material, carbon dioxide, gets converted into an organic material, which is carboxylic group. And that is what we eat. That is what gives us energy. That is what keeps us alive. Okay. So carbon dioxide, not only it is harmless, it is essential for our life. So we will do this comparison also. Then last one is, nuclear power plant negates right to life. Nowadays people speak, nowadays TV debates you must have seen. It is my constitutional right. People are very aware. Okay. I don't want to cast any aspersions on any thing which is going on in the society. I am only telling that everybody says it is our right. Nobody talks about their duty. They say we are free to the freedom to speech, but there is a responsibility that you are not going to abuse anybody. See, with the freedom to speech, there is a restriction on speech also. I think to start with, your mother must be teaching us, don't use bad words. Okay. So there is a restriction which not only Constitution demands from us, but even our mothers, they demand from us. Is there anybody's mother who tells use bad words? I think no mother can tell her child that you can use bad words. Sometimes my son will tell my mother, but mother, you use bad words against me. Nalayak, Battamiz. So he questions sometimes. Now he is 35 years old. But when he was small, he used, Mummy, but you use bad words. Aapne kali mere ko nalayak bola, besharam bola, Battamiz bhi bola. And you are telling me I should not say this word to my friends. So yes, there are some questions which better remain unanswered. Okay, next. Oh, I have only to do it. So first one we will take, why nuclear power at all. I think I'll have to really rush through. Battery down है क्या इसकी? Next कोई कर देगा क्या help? I think I'll have to forego some of the slides. Here only we have tried to tell, only read what is written in white. Okay. This is primary energy use. So primary energy means the energy in any form we are using. For I came using a taxi. You people must have come in some school buses. Okay. The material which comes to your house, the provisions, they come through ships, aeroplanes, trucks, and finally in your cars. So all that 90% of the energy we are using is coming from fossil resources. So something we are burning, petrol, diesel, coal, something is getting burnt, And even if it is electric vehicle, presently, please remember that in India, 72, I think that information is given. So even if today somebody is using electric vehicle, please tell them that the electricity which you are using for running these cars, 75% of it is coming by burning fossil resources. 72% is just by burning coal. Okay, so buying an electric car is not a solution presently. We are only preparing for future, that in future when electricity is generated without burning any material, without combustion of carbonaceous material, that time using electric car is the best thing. But presently what we are doing, that we will not kill an animal in the house, but there is a shop which supplies what animal has been killed. That killed animal is available in the shop, so I will not kill in my house, but I will bring from the shop, or I will simple, you don't have to even prepare, Zomato ko order kar do. Okay, so you are not killing the animal, you are not handling that, you are only eating what is available in the market. Okay, so similarly buying the electric car is like this, that you are not causing any pollution by burning petrol in your car, but the electricity you are using, somewhere somebody is burning coal for producing that electricity. Okay, so I think this is the information I wanted to give, that presently whatever energy we are using, 90%, 75% is coming from fossil resources. And here what we are telling, that out of all the energy we are using, about 30% is only for transporting the materials. I always tell people, I have my own thinking. Of course, many people may not agree with my thinking. Right from my childhood, I have been thinking that, see, when we live somewhere, things are produced there, things are manufactured there. But why are we after that? Sitting in Bombay, I do not want to eat the rice which is grown in Maharashtra. I want my rice to come from Dehradun, basmati rice. Okay. Now people, I mean, generally I don't speak by language group, but this is only to tell you the food habits. Bengalis love fish. Okay. Which fish they love? Any Bengalis here? So which fish they love? Sweet water fish, river fish. Okay. The Bengalis love sweet water fish, or it is also called freshwater fish. Okay. What the Bombay people love? The seawater fish. Okay. I am a vegetarian, so but only by reading and seeing others I have learnt all this. So the aboriginal Maharashtrian people, they would love sea fish. In fact, it's a variety. Seafood is a variety. But when a Bengali comes and settles here, he says, no, seawater fish is not good. I want fish from Kolkata. Okay. When a Maharashtrian goes and settles in Madhya Pradesh, there is no sea there. So there is no seawater fish there. But there is plenty of freshwater fish. But he says, वो taste नहीं आता है, जो sea water fish में होता है, वो taste नहीं आता है. I want a fish from Goa, or I want a fish from Maharashtra. Similarly, see, I am basically a wheat eater. I like the wheat which is coming from Punjab. In Maharashtra also wheat is grown, but my wife says usse roti phat jati hai. I don't know the reality, but my wife claims that roti phat jati hai. Maharashtra wale wheat se. So our wheat, we will especially go and tell the shopkeeper that give us the Punjab ka wheat, because we are Punjabis. So I think basic reason is that roti phatti hai ya nahi, we are very fond of the food which we ate right from our childhood. Okay. And this transportation is because of that. I personally feel, if you are ready to leave your house to earn your bread and butter, so why don't you eat that bread and butter from where you are earning? So if I left my sweet home, everybody likes their home. Today, if I tell you, leave your home and you will become a millionaire by leaving your home. Are you ready to leave your home? Right now, at this age. After 18, you will go away, I know. Okay? So, if you are ready to leave your home, your hometown, just for the sake of your bread and butter, so eat that bread which is available there, eat that butter which is available there. Why do you insist? If you love your hometown so much, you should have remained in your hometown. So at least the burden of transporting fish for you, rice for you, wheat for you would not have been there on the society. But unfortunately, we are living in a consumer's world, as they say. There is a lot of advertisement that this is good. So that has to be transported. IKEA. Now IKEA store has come. IKEA furniture manufactured in some other country. It is brought by ship and then it is sold here. Why? Our furniture was bad. But this is the trend. And that is why there is a load on transport industry. Okay, so we are actually ending up spending a lot of this fossil fuel because of these unnecessary things. See, if the trucks don't come from Punjab or from Madhya Pradesh, I don't think the people of Maharashtra or people staying in Maharashtra are going to be starved. We will start eating what is available here. Okay, anyway. Can somebody do it next? You have a computer here. Acha, when I talk to you, then it happens. Next time I'll directly tell you. Okay, I think I will not discuss this. Let me save some time. Can you change it, sir? Yes, see, I turn my face towards you. No, I think थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया. इस पे आ गया ये. So here only I am trying to tell, I think there is some mix up somewhere. See, recently you must have heard in November, there was an international event called COP26. How many of you have heard about it? COP26. It has nothing to do with police. COP doesn't mean police here. COP26. Anybody who can tell me? It is known as Conference of Parties. It's an international meeting was there in November. It was in UK this time. What is it about? It is about the climate change. So every year, the heads of states and experts from various countries, they meet at one place. They are parties to a conference. So that is how the name Conference of Parties. The parties who really feel that global warming is happening, climate change is happening, and it has to be tackled. So all these people assemble at one place and they discuss. Okay, in last 1 year, what attempt we have put, what more needs to be put. So last meeting, COP26, which happened in November, our Prime Minister had gone there, and there he has, see, most of the advanced countries, they have made a declaration that the temperature rise which is happening because of this carbon dioxide, etc., it has to be restricted. Earlier, they used to think that it has to be restricted to +2 degrees centigrade as compared to pre-industrial era level. But now they have told 2 degrees is not going to enough. You have to restrict it to 1.5 degree. So restricting to 1.5 degree means by the middle of this century, by 2050, burning of coal should stop altogether. So no more production of carbon dioxide by burning of coal, petrol, diesel, or other fossil resources. So that is a resolution. Now, India is not in a position to do it by 2050, but our Prime Minister declared that, okay, By 2070, we will have a net zero emission. India is going to have a net zero emission. Now, Modi ji has declared it. He has promised it, not on his behalf. He has promised it, not on my behalf. I am also about same age as Modi ji, maybe slightly younger. Okay. He has promised it, keeping you people in mind. Okay. You are in maybe 9th to 12th standard today. In another 7 to 8 years, you will become professionals. Okay. You will be into some profession. So you are the people. See, he has kept in mind you people, that you are the people who will fulfill that promise. Because it is going to, once you start your career, for 40 to 50 years, your career will be running. So let us say you all start your career by 2030. Okay. And your career will run for 40 years. So 2070. That means in your career, you people are going to fulfill that promise which Modi ji has made to the world. Okay, so keep that in mind, that it is your responsibility that you will be doing all this. So now what has to be done for achieving that target? I am not following the slide. So what is to be done is not only all our electricity which we are using presently, it should be made from non-fossil resources. Even where we are burning fossil fuel, for example, in transport, we should stop burning coal, we should stop burning petrol, diesel, all things. So either it should be based on electricity, and that electricity should be generated by non-fossil resources, okay, or we should come out with hydrogen. So you must have heard about hydrogen being used as a fuel, because if you use hydrogen as a fuel, it will come from water. Water will be dissociated into hydrogen and oxygen, and then hydrogen, it is going to be a single step. It is going to be a single step cycle. H2O giving you H2 plus O2. Okay. And then in the combustion engine, hydrogen will burn. So it will recombine with oxygen. It will give you back water. That water can again be dissociated. So it is a single point. In case of petrol, it is not like this. Petrol cycle is very long cycle. Today, what petrol you are burning, it will get converted into carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide will be absorbed by the green plant present today. But that green plant will convert into petrol only after about 1 million years. So that is why the whole problem, this climate change and global warming is happening. Okay, because this cycle is too long a cycle, very slow cycle. The carbon cycle is very slow cycle. So if you use hydrogen cycle, it is going to be instantaneous. Today you break water, convert it into hydrogen. Tomorrow you burn hydrogen, get back water. Day after tomorrow, you can again convert that water into hydrogen. Okay, so going to be a very fast cycle. So for producing hydrogen, again you need electricity. That electricity should come from a non-fossil resource. Then only there is fun in the game. Okay, so for all this, lot of electricity will be needed. As on today, we use per capita. Per capita means in the name of every person. So India's population today, whatever, 130 crore, 135 crore. In everybody's name, about 1,200 units of electricity is being made. Okay, so it is a term, per capita income, per capita electricity generation. So per capita electricity generation in the country today is 1,200 units of electricity. Okay, I am not using the scientific terms, kilowatt hours per year. I am using terms which are very easy for you. Okay, so 1,200 units of electricity. Now, we people have calculated, my seniors, my colleagues in the department and other technologists, we have calculated that if we have to achieve zero emission by 2070, this 1,200 will have to become 16,000. So more than 10 times. Okay, 10 times of 1,200 is 12,000. So 1/3 more of that. Okay. So 16,000, and for which population? For the population in 2070. So population is expected to be about 1.5 billion, 150 crore. Today's 135 will get it will be 150 crores. So multiply that with this. So that means, some हवा में calculation मैं कर रहा हूँ. This will require 24,000 billion units of electricity to be generated every year, if I have to achieve zero emission by 2070. So how will you make all this electricity? Now, thinking that only renewable will be able to do it, impossible. Thinking only nuclear will be able to do it, impossible. Thinking only hydro will do it, impossible. And anyway, if you are talking of zero emission, means you can't burn anything. So that means all of us have to get together. All of us, we have to get together. That means solar, wind, all renewables, hydro, nuclear. Everybody has to work together and try to achieve this target. So that is why only that thinking that abhi renewable cheap ho gaya, itna electricity renewable se banta hai. Yes, that is a fact, but it is not going to be sufficient. Okay. So is nuclear power safe? I think I already talked a lot about it. Boss, help me. You helped twice. Okay. So now here I told that I'll be telling you about how many accidents have happened by various methods of generating electricity and how many people have died. I'll rush very quickly. I will rush. Based on coal, 2,526 recorded accidents, means their data is available to us. 2005, between 1970, there is a period given between 1970 and 2008. Okay, this data is for that. So 2,526 accidents have happened, out of which 2,032 have happened in China alone. So that speaks of the technology being used by the Chinese people, very unsafe. Okay. And so fatalities, how many people have died? Close to 42,000 people have died in these 40 years. 42,000 people have died, out of which about 27,000 are from China itself. Okay. So this is about burning of coal for generating electricity. Then second is oil, similar number. Some 610 accidents have happened. 24,000 people have died. Natural gas, 224 accidents have happened. 3,000 people have died. LPG, the cooking gas you use in your houses, 150 accidents have happened. Not the cylinder burst I am talking about, in the power stations. Okay. More than 5,000 people have died. Hydro, 23 accidents have happened in this period and more than 30,000 people have died. This is one alone incidence in China again. In China in 1976, a dam burst took place in which these 30,000 people were killed in a matter of 3 hours. Floods aa gaya tha, because the dam totally burst. It collapsed, the dam collapsed, so all the water, it went to all the villages and towns, and in 3 hours, 30,000 people were dead. Then biogas, geothermal, and then nuclear. Of course, this report tells only one accident took place and 31 people died. Here, I would like to tell you something. I don't agree with one accident. As per me, 3 accidents. So why the authors of this report has reported as one? Number one is, this report is up to 2008. Fukushima happened in 2011. So naturally, Fukushima is not counted. But still, it should have been 2 people, two accidents, because I told you 3 Miles Island and Chernobyl. So it should have been 2 here. But see what they have written. Their definition of accident is more than 5 fatalities Only if 5 people die in an incident, they will call it accident. I mean, as per them, if a motorcycle somebody is driving meets an accident and one person dies, it's not an accident as per their definition. So because in 3 Miles Island nobody died, so they say that is not an accident. Only Chernobyl, they say 31 people died. Actually, I can tell you, if I include after 10 years of the accident, 300 people died actually. Okay. Now this is, I think again I will leave. You know, when Fukushima happened, people started telling it will happen in India also. But the thing is that Japan, lot of earthquakes happen. In India, they do not happen that often. Okay, all our nuclear power stations are in these regions where there are no earthquakes. Earthquakes happen here, earthquakes happen here. Our power stations are in this region where earthquakes don't happen. Similarly, tsunami. In Japan, all over Japan, there are very frequent tsunamis. In India, it is very rare. So telling that in Japan it has happened because of the tsunami, so it will happen in India also, it is not correct. I think I am already getting signals. I have to rush up. Now that I told you about that radioactivity continuously leaking out of the nuclear power station. So this is about that. Actually, we do a complete study, environmental study. We have environment survey laboratory attached to every nuclear power plant where we find out any radiation or radioactivity is coming out. The net result is, I will tell you in the next slide. See, this is natural radiation, whether you have a nuclear power station or not. This much radiation, you go to any part of the world, natural, it is called natural background radiation. So it is already there. Above that, the nuclear industry, we have got regulators. Like for traffic, you have traffic department. So similarly, for nuclear power plants, we have Atomic Energy Regulatory Board. Okay. So they have permitted that you can go, I will not talk about the unit. So whatever is this 2,400, that unit, above that another 1,000 we are allowed to go. Okay, but actual emission of radiation from a nuclear power station, from Indian nuclear power stations, this is Tarapur in Maharashtra, this is Rajasthan, this is Madras, means Tamil Nadu, this is Narora, means Uttar Pradesh, this is Kakrapar, means Gujarat, this is KGS, means Karnataka. Everywhere you see the amount of, we are permitted 1,000, but our radiation is less than 50 everywhere. So this, why I am telling, I told you, we are using valves. Each valve costs few lakh rupees. That is why our radiation doesn't leak out. I think I can do without this. See, people, those who are against nuclear power, they try to give a picture that lot of radioactivity comes out of nuclear power station. So only thing you can see around a nuclear power station is no greenery, no environment, no birds, no animals, only cancer patients. This is the picture people will give. Actual fact is that we have, see, because of our surroundings, and our surroundings, we maintain a very good nature around us. And because of that, we have lot of birds there, we have lot of butterflies there, that our NPCIL, which Mr. Umesh talked about in the morning, Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, they have come out with these 2 books. Actually, they have come out with 3 books. These are fantastic books. One is Our Flying Guests. It talks about the birds in the surroundings of nuclear power stations of India. Other is 7 Edens and 70 Fairies. We have got nuclear power stations at 7 locations in India. So there, so far they have counted up to 70 varieties of butterfly. And butterflies are there, that means flowers are there, means plants are there. Okay. Now, these books are very costly. So when I was in the Department of Atomic Energy, and for example, I have come here for lecture. When I talk about this book, you would like to have that book, but that each book costs to NPCIL about 1,000 rupees. So they can't give me 250 books for one event. So what I did, I went for a cheaper option from these books only. Boss, see, it works. Flora and fauna around nuclear power plants. I made a poster. This poster at that time costed to me 3 rupees each. So I used to distribute it to the children. And I used to tell them, make book covers out of this. Even if you don't want to paste on the wall of your room, you can make book covers out of this so that every day they will see this poster. So now these are the pictures of all the birds, variety of birds, which are found in the neighborhood of Indian nuclear power stations. Okay. And what is written here? Can a nuclear power plant be a bird sanctuary? The answer is a resounding yes. Yes. The whenever, suppose when you grow, you have an opportunity to visit a nuclear power station, you will find a variety of birds around a nuclear power station. So that means there is no leakage of radiation. This was about that the wise people telling that we are putting off all our nuclear power. I think I talked already a lot about it. I thought this word map will do. Look at the map. See, these are the blue countries which you see, dark blue, operating reactors, and they are building new. India is like one of them. You can see dark blue color. Then operating reactors, planning new, a little light blue color. Then operating reactors, no new planned. Okay. Few countries are there who are having nuclear power stations, but they don't want to go for more. And then newcomers. So green color, you see Bangladesh, you see Belarus, and you see Turkey. Like that, I think here there should have been, here. It is United Arab Emirates. So they are all going for nuclear power, new countries. So like that, there is only one country which is shown in black color. That is West Germany, the wise country, the so-called wise country. Now you will ask me why they have decided to close down all their nuclear power stations. They are double standard people. See, in Europe, there is a European grid. So France, for example, their neighboring country, it produces 75% of their electricity by using nuclear power. In the morning, Umeshji told. Okay. And there is a European grid. As you know, there is European Union. So there is a common grid from which all the members of European Union can draw electricity. So France puts all that electricity onto that grid. Germany is free to take electricity from there. Okay. So for example, again, I will give you that comparison. I am born in a vegetarian family. So my normal food habit is eating vegetarian food. But I have got some neighbors, when they make non-vegetarian food, the smell is liked by me. So I developed friendship with the boy living in that house. And without telling my parents, I go to his house and eat a little bit. So I continue to be a vegetarian, but in between, मुफ्त में मौका लगेगा तो खा लेंगे, हाथ मार लेंगे, हाँ? Okay? So Germany is behaving like that. We will not make nuclear electricity, but France is putting in the grid. We will use that electricity. We have no problem. Can India do this? Do we have an international grid surrounding us? Can I get electricity from my neighbors? Should I go to Pakistan that, look, we have less electricity, why don't you give something to us? Should I go to Nepal? Should I go to Sri Lanka begging for electricity? That means not only I have to make all the electricity I need in my country. So why should I be compared with Germany? Okay, I think I will cut the discussion here. What about the nuclear waste? Somebody had asked byproducts. So that Now here is a comparison of the comparative quantity of waste generated for every gigawatt. Giga is 10 to the power of 9. So 10 to the power of 9 watts of electricity if you generate by using coal, this is the quantity of waste. Oil, this is the waste quantity. Natural gas, this is the quantity. Wood, this is the quantity. Nuclear, this is the quantity. Solar PV, this is the quantity. So I think I need not describe. You can see the amount of waste generated is very, very low in case of solar and in case of nuclear. Another important thing is the technology available? See, when you burn coal, everybody knows carbon dioxide is produced. What is the solution for carbon dioxide? Where does it go? It goes into the environment, because every coal-based power station, you will find a chimney. And from that, carbon dioxide is going out. There is no technology developed that we can burn coal, but the carbon dioxide either is not produced or it does not go to the environment. There is only one place where it can go, it is the environment. Okay, but in case of nuclear power, when you grow, you will come to know we have complete technology solution. We will ensure that the new waste generated by nuclear, which is much more hazardous, but we will keep it isolated from general public. It will never come into the general public. It will be finally buried into deep mines 1 kilometer into the earth, so that the radiation from that or radioactivity from that will never come. So we will be isolated from it, so it will not be dangerous. Just to give you an example, tell me, common salt, okay, and potassium cyanide, which is poison and which is edible? Common salt and potassium cyanide, one of them is a poison, one of them is edible material. Why you are taking so much time? Don't raise your hand, just speak in one voice.
Sir, it would be potassium cyanide is a poison and common salt is edible.
Yeah, that is how you should speak, all of you. I expect
Potassium in its plain form is also poisonous.
Huh?
Potassium in its plain form is also poisonous.
No, we are talking, I have taken 2 salts, for example. Okay. So potassium, that way sodium chloride, sodium is also poisonous. Okay. So I am not comparing elements. I am comparing 2 salts. So one is sodium chloride, another is potassium cyanide. Okay. Now go to a hospital or go to a doctor. Ask him how many patients who consumed potassium cyanide came to him in last 1 year. Or to how many of his patients he advised, the doctor advised, please don't take potassium cyanide. Okay, ask your doctor. And then ask him how many people he told, don't take too much common salt. Reduce your salt intake. Okay, and ask him how many people he is treating for high blood pressure, which has been caused because of common salt, eating lot of common salt. So today the situation is that potassium cyanide is more dangerous. It is poisonous. Nobody has been able to tell the taste of it, because the moment you keep it on the tongue, you die. So very, very hazardous. But what is killing people or making people sick is common salt, which is actually harmless. It is an edible material. Naturally also in many vegetables and fruits it is present, but our tongue, we have developed our taste in such a manner that what is given by nature is not enough. So we put extra salt. चाट में जब तक ऊपर से कैच का चाट मसाला नहीं डालेंगे तो मजा नहीं आता ना, है? मैं भी डालता हूँ. I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of myself. Okay, but this salt is proving dangerous for us. So similarly, radioactive waste is very dangerous, and CO2 is not at all dangerous. But today we have a threat because of carbon dioxide, not because of radioactive waste. Reason being, radioactive waste is isolated just like potassium cyanide is isolated. Can you go and buy potassium cyanide from a shop? No, but even a child, your younger brother or sister, 5-year-old can go to the shop and buy a packet of salt. Okay. So salt is causing problem for you. Okay. I think this, I think in 2013, there was some opposition to nuclear power. So I think 23 groups of people, they went to Supreme Court and filed a case that Kudankulam nuclear power plant in Tamil Nadu, it should be closed down. And because it is compromising with our right to life, written in the Constitution, Article 21, I think I will not describe much. From the judgment, there is a 400-page judgment to that. From that judgment on page 196, para number 184, I am quoting here. I am not going to read also what the judges told, that actually establishing a nuclear power plant is not a compromise with right to life. In fact, it supports right to life. Because judge, of course, in his judgment, he has written that we have seen proofs. There is a lot of greenery around nuclear power station, and there is a lot of life around nuclear power station. There are very good schools available where not only people working in the plant, but people living in the surrounding villages, they are coming and getting good education. Because of nuclear power station, the transport facilities develop, the road quality is better. So the judge wrote in his judgment that establishing a nuclear power plant, in fact, supports the right to life. And that is how Kudankulam, at that time, the fight was for 2 power stations. Those 2 are operating now, and 4 more are being built there. So total 6 are going to be there. I think I have come to an end. Thank you very much. Sorry, I'm sorry.
I can understand. While introducing about Mr. Malohotra, I think that the experience says a lot, because as I told you, he has already delivered more than 500. He has been the first person of DA, and we have seen a lot of people say over the program on nuclear power. I don't think anybody have any question now? No. No, because he started, I think it's a different way of starting a lecture. Mostly people prefer that at the end. But in the beginning itself, I will not say that he was far behind, but the question session started and it took almost 40 minutes, I believe, in the beginning itself. But it was worth, I think, as the title says, public perception, reality, you have come across. You might have heard maybe some of the weird college students or would-be teachers, they might have come across many such things in newspaper, in TV channels. This is happening, that is happening, nuclear power, so and so on. But I think all of the slides, they were quite in favor that perceptions of what we have heard, or what we have been told, perhaps they are far, far away from the reality. I think nuclear power plants, some of you can visit also. Only thing is you have to contact them. They have a facility. I have got an opportunity to visit Radioactivity. Fantastic. What he has shown is not just in slides and just photographs. They are real one. We have a gallery on nuclear power, nuclear power, Hall of Nuclear Power. It was inaugurated in 2011, just after Fukushima. And we are now renovating, because it's 12 years now, 11 years completed. We are renovating all those things you can see. So it is very, very essential to tell you all people, coming generation, next generation, that this perception is different and reality is far, far different. Okay. So thank you very much. I don't think you're left with much energy to ask us, and they are every